Hi, everyone. Welcome to 22 days of shadow work and radical acceptance. I am Meaghan Rosalie. I'm the founder of Goddess Goals LLC, Ecstatic Dance Lansing. I am a divine feminine leader. I am an initiated womb priestess and many other things, like we all are multidimensional beings. And I'm just going to ask you to kind of settle in here. We're going to be here for about 20 minutes. We're going to go over what shadow work is, what the shadow is. We're going to review how this 22-day transformational journey works, what you can expect, how you can be successful. And we're going to learn some stuff in this next 20 minutes, okay? So just find a comfortable position. And if you can, I know there's a lot of working mamas in this crew, so you might be multitasking, but if you can give yourself these 20 minutes, I encourage you to do so, to find a comfortable position, to really allow these next 20 minutes to penetrate you. That's the best term I could use. I am currently in my bed right now. I am recording this welcome video from my bed, and I'm doing that purposely because I want to create, my intention is to create a container that feels cozy and comfortable and safe and rejuvenating, much like I hope our beds feel, right? Much like a good night's sleep feels. And the reason I want this space, this journey to feel comfortable and cozy and warm and safe is because shadow work can be confronting. Shadow work can be painful, right? We are literally pulling up our shit and wading through it. Okay. So it's really important. I've learned in my own shadow work journey that it's really important to create a space of safety, sanctuary, comfort, radical acceptance, unconditional love, and compassion. So I'm going to start by sharing with you a little bit about my own journey with shadow work. I've been consciously, actively doing shadow work for almost 9 years now. I was doing shadow work before I even knew it was called shadow work. I got sober. I hit rock bottom, had a psychotic break after years of deadly levels of drug and alcohol use. After a lifetime, many lifetimes of trauma. And I joined a recovery community. And in this recovery community, I found a sponsor, a woman who had been on her own recovery journey for over a decade at that point. And she guided me to meet the parts of myself that I had been suppressing with drugs and alcohol for years and years. All of the parts of myself that caused me to feel shame, guilt, that caused me to feel insecure, unworthy of being alive, let alone having a beautiful life. All of the parts of myself that made me feel embarrassed, that I judged, that I was taught to judge by society, right? All of the parts of myself that I did not want to look at, that I did not want to face, that I did not want to own up to, that I did not want to admit to. She, not knowing this was called shadow work, guided me to meet these parts of myself in a really loving way. She was a badass. She was hard. She kicked my ass. But she helped me to in her own way, in the best way she could, to meet these parts of myself without judgment. And then I started to branch out, right? And then I started to find different modalities other than the recovery uh, path I was on. I started working with somatic therapy and then womb healing. And then I just started going down the rabbit hole. And I eventually found that the spiritual healing community was calling this work that I had been doing for years at that point shadow work. And then, of course, I eventually found out that shadow work, the term, was coined by Carl Jung. And then I found there's tons of books on shadow work and, all of these things. But yeah, when I first heard the term shadow work, I was like, whoa, that's accurate. That's a perfect term for what I've been doing. Um, and then in my own ways, I started to expand on my shadow work. I started to create my own ways of doing this work. And the most important part of the shadow work that I was doing was eventually the radical acceptance work that I accompanied with my shadow work. And once I really started to embody radical acceptance, unconditional love, trust, and compassion, and I was able to do this shadow work from that embodied, radically accepting, loving space, my entire life started to transform. Everything started to transform. And for example, I 100%, 1000%, 1,000,000% attribute the relationship I have with my beloved Matthew to the years of shadow work, but not just the years of shadow work I've done, the years of shadow work being done from the lens of radical acceptance, unconditional love, and compassion. Because doing this, meeting my shadows as they surface, as they continue to surface, as they will continue to surface for the rest of my life, meeting them with radical acceptance and love helped me to authentically love myself, all parts of myself, my whole self, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the light and the dark, the right and the wrong, right? I authentically started to love myself. And because of that, I attracted a man who genuinely, authentically loves all parts of me. So that's just one beautiful benefit of shadow work. You will find your beloved. You will find the one that loves all of you. So yeah, so you're in good hands. I've been doing this work for years. And the reason I'm finally sharing it with you in this way, I've been sharing it. I've been writing about it and speaking about it for years, but sharing it in this way, asking for an energy exchange, for example, is because I have officially seen how this work paired with radical acceptance has transformed my life. There's no doubt about it. There's no question about it. So it's time to share. There's this saying that when we die, we don't take with us anything that we've been given. We only take with us everything that we have shared with others, that we have given to others. So I'm ready to give this. I'm ready to share this. I'm ready to lead this container in a really cozy, comfy, radically accepting, divinely feminine, unconditionally loving, compassionate, goddessy way. So, yay! Congratulations. I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited you said yes. And yeah, let's get into it a little bit more. So, what is the shadow? I think you probably picked up on it already just from the first 10 minutes of sharing here. Um, the shadow is all parts of you that you repress, deny, reject, ignore, all the parts of you that you feel ashamed of, guilty of, embarrassed by, all the parts of you that you want to take to the grave, right? Like the parts of you, the experiences you've had, the things you've done that you don't want anybody to know about. That's your shadow. And when we repress things, when we repress memories, we repress trauma, when we refuse to look at, to accept any part of ourselves, when we shove it down, ignore it, reject it, deny it, pretend it's not there, it unconsciously controls our life. So we may think that by ignoring certain parts of ourselves, just not dealing with them, that they can't hurt us anymore. They can't harm us. Poof, we just forgot about them. They don't exist. That is entirely untrue. They are unconsciously making decisions for you. Your shadow is unconsciously, meaning you're not even aware of it, is unconsciously uh, directing your relationships. The relationships that you choose, the partners that you choose, the jobs that you choose, the ways that you react and respond to conflict or challenge. All of this is controlled, directed by your shadow. If you have not become conscious of your shadow, if you have not done shadow work, your entire life is being run, directed by your unconscious shadow. This is why, I saw a kitty out there. This is why this work is so important. And it really truly is as simple as allowing yourself to get honest with your shadow, with the parts of you that you've rejected, denied, looking at it, simply looking at it, pulling up a chair at your table and inviting these parts of you to have a seat. The second that you give these parts of you your awareness, your attention, and eventually your love and your acceptance and your compassion, they no longer have control over you. They no longer run the show from behind the scenes. And then you can start running your show, creating your reality, being the conscious creator of your reality. You can then start choosing relationships that align with the love you actually want to experience, the love you want to give and receive. You'll start choosing jobs, a career, friendships based on love, based on the love you feel for yourself, based on the acceptance you feel for yourself, based on compassion and truth and trust, right? Based on vulnerability, based on beauty, based on hope, right? You'll start to respond to other people's shadows, respond to the collective shadow, which we are getting real clear about lately. We are getting a really good look at our collective shadow recently. You can respond and react to other people's shadows, darkness, and the darkness of society. from a space of love, ease, gentleness, peace, rather than judgment and aggression and resentment and fighting, right? Okay. And this is shadow work, right? Everything I just explained, that's shadow work. Shadow work is allowing these parts of you that you have denied and rejected and ignored, suppressed forever, to have a seat at the table, to let themselves be known. And becoming aware of them is the first step of integrating your shadow, which is shadow work. You got to become aware of them. Step 2, becoming aware of the ways that these parts of you have been unconsciously calling the shots, unconsciously directing your life, making your decisions for you. Part 3 of integrating your shadow, of doing the shadow work, is learning what these parts of you have to say, giving them a voice, looking at them as teachers, asking them what they need, what they want, what messages do they have for you, learning from them, from these shadowy parts. And then there's several other steps to integrating our shadow, which we will go over together. So, how does this 22-day transformational journey work? Every day, you're going to have a prayer. You'll get a PDF of 22 prayers. And you're going to pair this prayer. You're going to pair this prayer, this mantra, this spell, whatever word you like to use there. I know prayer is sometimes triggering for some people. Religious trauma, hello. You're going to pair this prayer with the daily somatic practice. You're going to use that same daily somatic practice, of which you'll get the video for, every single day. And you're going to do, and it's 3 minutes. I encourage you to do this practice in the morning. Okay? So you are going to allow this prayer and the somatic practice to help you to meet, to face, to feel, to breathe with, to move with certain parts of your shadow, certain parts of you that you have suppressed, denied, shamed, judged, rejected, ignored. And and you have the option to extend it more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes is for those of you who are super busy, who maybe just kind of want to start dabbling in shadow work, just get a feel for it. But I do encourage you to extend this practice if you really want to go all the way. If you really want to experience radical transformation in 22 days, which you can. If you want to experience radical transformation in just 22 days, you can. I would then encourage you to sit with that practice and prayer, the daily somatic practice and prayer, for longer than 3 minutes. Because that's going to give you some more time to really start to see, hear, feel why you've suppressed this part of you, why you've been taught to judge it, to deny it, to reject it, to feel ashamed, embarrassed, guilty of it. You're going to start to remember experiences you've had where maybe your parents or your pastor, your preacher, your priest, or your teacher, a friend, somebody in your childhood taught you that it wasn't good or right to be jealous, to be angry, to be sensual, to be sexy, right? You're really gonna, if you extend this practice, you're really gonna clear it out. But even if you're just doing 3 minutes a day, that's perfect. That's an incredible start. It's an incredible start. And you will experience shifts. You will experience a profound transformation. The other part of 22 days of shadow work and radical acceptance, which is a little bit different than my other 22-day transformational journeys, is I am going to encourage you at the end of every day, and it could be in bed while you're just getting into bed, laying down, getting ready to go to sleep. Take a minute to reflect, to review any of your shadows that may have surfaced throughout the day, right? So where were you dishonest? Where did you kind of lie or manipulate? Even if it's just like somebody asked you to get dinner and you said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I already have plans." When the truth is you're just exhausted and don't have the energy. So why couldn't you say that? Why couldn't you say, "Thank you for the invitation, but I'm exhausted tonight"? Why did you have to lie about it, right? Like, why did you have to say you have plans? Like, you know, so where were you jealous? Where were you resentful or angry? You know, where did you want to express yourself, express a feeling, express an emotion, but didn't because you were afraid of being judged? You were ashamed of what you were feeling, so you didn't want to share it. Right? Just like go ahead and take a moment at the end of every day to review and reflect on any of the shadows that surfaced throughout your day. And ask yourself honestly, how did I meet this part of myself? How did I meet it? How did I greet it? Did I greet it at all? Or did I immediately say, "Nope, go away. You're not welcome here. I don't have time for you. I don't have time to feel you." Right? Or did you say, "Hey, you're welcome here. I love you. I'm a whole human being. I am fully divine and fully human. I am light and dark. I am good and bad. I am right and wrong. I am all of it. I am the anthropos." Anthropos is a term from the teachings of Mary Magdalene that means fully human and fully divine. It is your wholeness. You are the entire universe, right? And just one little piece, last piece on this, and we're going to wrap this up in about 2 minutes here. One of the things you're going to learn throughout this journey, throughout these 22 days, is to stop labeling any part of yourself as good or bad, right or wrong, right? You're going to stop labeling. You're going to learn to accept radically all parts of you. You're going to learn that we've been taught, conditioned, programmed to label certain parts of ourselves as good or bad as a form of control. We've been taught this through the wounded patriarchy, through religion, right? That parts of us are sinful. Parts of us are wrong, are bad. That's not true. And we're going to learn this together. So you've got the daily practice, you've got the daily somatic practice that you'll use every single day, and the prayer, matching it with the prayer. You've got your end of the day review. I'm going to encourage that. You've got the WhatsApp group So I'm going to invite you into the WhatsApp group. That's where we can all hold each other accountable. I'll send the updates in that group. You'll get the Zoom links in that group. You'll get we'll just support each other. We'll meet each other. We'll support each other. We will create a sisterhood. I use the term sisterhood for everybody. It's my term for community. It doesn't mean you have to be a female-bodied individual. Sisterhood can include men and non-binary folks as well. And then finally, the last part of this journey are the 3 live calls. We will have one call at the beginning of the journey, one call at the middle of the journey, one call at the end of the journey. These calls will be recorded. So if you can't join them live, you'll get the recording, but I do encourage you to join them live because I'll be doing hot seats. I'll literally be helping you, guiding you in live, in the moment, to work through some of your shadows that have been surfacing. And we'll be doing a ritual, a somatic ritual in each of those calls that helps us to integrate our shadow with radical acceptance, love, and compassion. So just taking a moment here to let it all sink in. Noticing how you're feeling without judgment right now. Maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed. Oh God, what did I get myself into? Just let it all. It's going to be easeful. It's going to be gentle. This journey is going to be the best thing you've done for yourself in a long time. There's no reason to worry. There's no reason to stress. I promise. I've been doing this long enough to have figured out how to do shadow work, this type of like depth dwelling, heavy shit, gently and easefully. If y'all have been working with me for a while, I'm all about ease. Woo! That was my first 22-day transformational journey, 22 days of ease. I apply ease to every part of my life, including this journey. So you're in good hands. You're safe. I would encourage you to take a moment here to write down any questions that may have surfaced throughout this welcome video that you want to ask me in the WhatsApp group or during our first live call together. Yeah, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for us, and I'm so excited for our world. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for doing this work. I honor you. I respect you. And I'm so excited to walk with you.